Imagine that you have $1 million to spend for the perfect trip to Japan. What would you do? High-tier Wagyu, rent out an entire ryokan, private jet to Tokyo maybe, whole day session at the soapland? Well, stop dreaming, brother man, because you wouldn't have clicked on this video if you had a cool milli to spend on a lavish trip. You know, let's be real. But having a wonderful week or two in Japan doesn't necessarily need to break the bank. I'm somewhat of a poverty connoisseur. I know how to have a good time on an extremely limited budget. So in this video, I'll be sharing some of my super secret hidden leaf special ultra tips for you, so you can actually have a good time in Japan while also having some money left in the bank, you know, when you come home. Because bills exists and so does the tax man. Like and subscribe. It's free. Let me just preface this by saying I will not take your air tickets into account for this because I have no idea who you are or even where you live. Like, if I did, I would be some sort of psychic, like, oh, you live in Michigan. Oh, the price is this and that. If I could do that, I would not be sitting here making YouTube videos. I would be out on the street scamming people with my cool psychic abilities. So just Google it yourself, you know, check Skyscanner or use AI like everybody else in Big 2025, and I'm sure you'll find something really cheap that fits your budget. If you need to be getting around while in Japan, which obviously you will have to because you're traveling around, you're not just sitting in your hotel or Airbnb doing fuck all. Local buses instead of taxi is a no-brainer. Local buses are super cheap and pretty much always on time. You can check the bus lines using Google Maps in Japan to find the nearest bus stop and which numbered bus and name of the bus that you're going to have to take to wherever you want to go. A little bonus here, you can use your Ikoka or your Suica to like scan into the bus, so you don't have to have the exact amount of change when you're going off, because that's kind of annoying with the buses in Japan. I don't know if you've ever taken a bus in Japan, but you grab a ticket when you go in, when you don't use the Ikoka or the Suica. You grab a ticket going in, it's a number on it. So you get like number 3, then you watch the little screen up top, like, oh, number 3. And then you'll see the amount of yen like going up and up the further away you go. So you need to be like, okay, I'm number 3 and it's 510 yen. I need to go off on the next one. Maybe it will be 540 yen. And you need to have exact change. So the bus driver, like every time there's like traffic or there's a red light and the bus is stopped, he'll be like, okay, brother, you can come up ahead and use the exchange machine. Because there is a change machine there. You can just put in 1,000 yen, boom, you get all the coins that you need. Long distance buses can also take you wherever you want to go. But of course, this will use more time. Of course, that's a no-brainer, right? I can, for example, take a bus from Okayama City all the way to Kansai International Airport, KIX, Osaka's premier airport. This takes around 2.5 hours and will cost me somewhere between 1,500 and 1,800 yen. Pretty cheap, right? But it takes a hell of a long time, almost 3 hours on a bus, and we stop at a rest stop as well. So everybody is like out and everybody needs to take a shit and buy like a karepan. It's kind of annoying. So of course, you know, taking the 45-minute Shinkansen directly to Osaka and then just an express train up to KIX, it's faster and smoother, but you know, costs a hell of a lot more. Local trains will always beat the Shinkansen or other express trains when it comes to price, but it comes at a price. And that price is time. A 3-hour journey on a normal local train in Japan will most likely include some train transfers, and you know, the same trip will just take 45 minutes to 50 minutes with a Shinkansen. To get the cheapest possible Shinkansen ride to wherever you're going, you need to have Jiuseki, the free seating. If you've ever been to Japan before and you've been to the Shinkansen platforms, you'll see a bunch of people line up at one specific number and nobody is lined up on another. That's because the people who don't line up, they already have the assigned seat that they paid more for. The huge lines are for the people who wants the free seating, you know? It's a free for all. So the first in line will always have like a guaranteed free seat. If you're at the end of the line, you know, and you get into the train last, you're shit out of luck. You might have to stand. I've stood from Osaka to Okayama, and it sucks. Don't do that. The trick I like to use here, since I'm a grumpy penny pincher, is to check where to wait for the free seating. Then I'll make sure that the train after the one approaching will go to where I need to go. Same as the first one. Then I'll go and stand in the back of the line, wait for everybody to go into the first train, and then I'll stop and be first for the next train. Crack a strong zero, stand there for 20 minutes and have a guaranteed seat. That is the ultra super duper hack to get a seat on the Shinkansen. Easy as that, while paying for the free seating. When it comes to food on a budget, I already have an entire video talking about how you can eat for less in Japan, you know, up here. So click that one so you load it up for when you're done with this video, because I do need the watch time. Don't leave just yet. The gist is that you should have your biggest meal for lunch, because they have the same menu as they have for dinner, but it's 50% off more or less when you're doing the lunch rush. So you know, you get the same amount of food, the same food that you could get at dinner, but for half off. What's not to like? Just eat more during lunch and you know, have an onigiri later. You don't have to eat that much, fatty. I know that a lot of you travelers swear by the konbini, the convenience stores, and I get that. It's convenient, you know, it's in the name, konbini, convenience, right? Duh. But remember that convenience store beverages and bentos and sandos are still more expensive than what you will find at supermarkets here. For example, Gyomu, Max Value, and Namu will have much cheaper stuff, and you can still get your sandos and a strong zero there. So, you know, don't worry and pay less and just walk a little bit longer to a supermarket. You don't have to go to the company, you know, and splurge. Now I want to talk a little bit about accommodation. Where you're staying has a lot to say with how hard it's gonna hit your wallet. Now, I'm not talking about a specific form of accommodation here. I've done that in plenty of videos already. Airbnb wins every time in both cheapness and just greatness. I love Airbnb. Try it in Japan. Nope, when I'm saying where you're staying, I'm talking about geographically. If you're staying in Tokyo, you'll be paying big megacity prices. If you're staying in Osaka or Hiroshima, you'll be paying big city prices. If you listened to me in one of my many previous videos, you know, and decided on a nice rural trip to Japan, good for you. Thanks for listening. I'm sure you won't be disappointed. But what you will be is surprised about how cheap things are here, locally, wherever you are staying in the Inaka. It's absolutely great.
But Mr. Japan Man, for the things I want to experience in Japan, I need to pay, so it's not really budget now, is it?
Well, I didn't tell you to do those things, now did I? If you're doing all the super touristy things, you should be prepared to get ripped off. It is what it is. Do you know how expensive a Ferris wheel ride around the Don Quixote in Dotonbori is? 4,000 yen per person. That's madness. 4,000 yen? That's like 2 people for a 2-hour each Tabenomi Hodai. And you waste that on a Ferris wheel ride solo? Nah, don't do that. There are lots of free things to do in Japan, and if you're in Osaka, you know, you can take the local train to Kyoto for 600 yen and go for a free walk around Arashiyama Bamboo Forest. Then you can hike up the mountain and look at the monkeys at Arashiyama Monkey Park. It's free. It's not free feeding them though, and you can't bring food in. They will, if you bring one banana in there, they will literally jump at your ass. They will jump you like gang style. Don't bring any food up there to be cheap. You don't want a rabid monkey jumping on you and start biting you and shit. No. Buy the food there if you want to feed them, but if you want to be super cheap, don't. Just look at the monkeys and walk down again. Parks are free, walking around the castle gardens is free, and to keep it a $150 with you, going into the castle costs money, and it's so goddamn boring. Just don't do it. If you need a history lesson, there are museums scattered around the outer edges of any castle park. Don't go into the castle, that's what schmucks do. Go to the cooler museums instead. I promise. Go on walks, buy some beers at the convenience store, and sit outside. It's legal to drink publicly in Japan, you know? So you can just sit and people watch and chill and slam some beers. Easy. And then you can spend the money that you save there where it really matters to you. That's how we budget, baby. Now with these tips, I'm pretty sure that you'll cut down the costs of things pretty drastically, but remember that you are on holiday. Save where you can and spend where it matters. Because you don't want to get home after 10 days in Japan and be like, man, I could have just stayed home then. Experiencing Japan fully while under a strict budget is hard, but it's definitely doable. So what are you waiting for? Come here. Come now. Literally traveling off-season, i.e. right now, winter, will get you cheaper hotels and cheaper airfare. Check the link in my description for pretty low-priced stuff that can make your trip better for less money. And that's the affiliate insert that you get right there. So, you know, please go and check it. I'm affiliated with like JR and a bunch of other companies, so I get a little kickback if you decide to use them. Please use them with my link. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more Japan content like this, please subscribe down there and click like on your way up. Likes matter, guys. For me, I'm a small channel. Likes really matters for a mini channel like mine. So, a little flick of the wrist and some neuron activity down to your index finger to click on the like, for free, mind you, is extremely helpful to the channel. Check out the YouTube memberships and the Patreon if you want to support the content directly. There will be lots of goodies there soon. I don't know when, but soon. Alright guys, I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye!